Week 5 of the NFL season currently underway. Lions off today. Browns hosting the Colts in a battle of surprise 3-1 teams, and the Bengals in Baltimore taking on the Ravens. Hi, and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Wilcox. We've got a recap of a thrilling first round of high school football playoffs, but first we start with a team that is thinking playoffs. The Cleveland Browns. Hard to believe the Browns and playoffs belong in the same sentence, but here we are. Browns at home taking on the Colts. Cleveland looking to move to 4-1 on the season. First drive of the game, Baker Mayfield slinging it downfield to Jarvis Landry. Nice catch, but then Jarvis Landry in a little bit of pain there as he was tackled awkwardly. He would return, though. That catch, by the way, leads to a Browns field goal. Colts coming back the other way, going for it on 4th and 2. They give it to Jonathan Taylor. No one even in the vicinity as he walks in for the easy touchdown to give the Colts the 7-3 lead. Second quarter now, Browns knocking on the door. Mayfield looking for someone, rolls out, eventually finds Kareem Hunt in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Let's take another look at that one. Nice effort all around there as the Browns are back on top. Later on in the second, Browns just keep airing it out. There's Mayfield connecting with Rashad Higgins. Mayfield finishes with 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defense also made a number of good plays in this one, including this pick 6. Browns get the win 32-23.
It's going to be games like that for sure. The defense did a great job. Their front seven is tough. And, we got to be ready to adjust and just find a way to win and get those tough yards that time. So I feel like we still did a pretty decent job, though, against a great defense.
How do you feel about being 4-1? I mean, this one wasn't pretty, but, this hasn't happened since 1994 around here.
All the wins aren't going to be pretty. Some games we got to grind it out and, make sure we get the win. And that's props on the coaching and our team to keep fighting and not to give up the lead. So I'm very, happy to be 4-1, but we just getting started. So, I'm ready to, look forward to next game.
Cincinnati going up against reigning league MVP Lamar Jackson. End of the first, Ravens up 3-0. Jackson fires over the middle to Mark Andrews for the touchdown. Baltimore up 10-0 early. Now this was a rough day for number 1 overall pick Joe Burrow. 3rd and 10, Burrow under pressure, throws it off his back foot. Oh, don't do that. And, well, that's why. Intercepted by Marcus Peters, Ravens take over and take advantage. First play of the second quarter, Jackson rolling out. Finds Marquise Brown in the end zone as Baltimore pulls away 17-0 there on top. Now look, we've been trying to find a good Bengals play to show you. We just couldn't. We got nothing here. 20-0 in the fourth. Burrow completes it, but then it's stripped away and returned for a touchdown by Burrow's former LSU teammate Patrick Queen. Bengals get blown out in Baltimore 27-3. Now at the high school level, we just wrapped up the first week of playoffs here in Ohio. Most teams took the field on Friday. Smaller schools, though, had to wait an extra day. They played last night, including Ottawa Hills taking on Cardinal Stritch. Stritch's Gene Rucker called this one a matchup of contrasting styles. But in the first quarter, it was the Cardinals taking a page from the Green Bears. Thomas Faust caps an over 8-minute drive as Stritch takes the 7-0 lead. Now Ottawa Hills' first drive carries over into the second quarter and also results in a short touchdown plunge. Pitch to Sam McCaffrey, who would add a 2-point conversion. Bears up 1. Third quarter, same score. They give it to Andrew Helgren, a 27-yard run to the house. 2-point try is good once again. 16-7, home team out in front. Ensuing Cardinals drive in the red zone. Big hole here for Dwayne Moorhead. He walks it in. PAT no good. Cardinals down 3. That's actually as close as they would get. Here's Blake Knepper from a few yards out. That's the third different Ottawa Hills back with a rushing score as they take the 24-13 lead. And hey, the Green Bears showing they can throw the ball too. There's Matt McGee to his sophomore tight end A.J. George, 62 yards to pay dirt. Green Bears advancing 32-13.
Tell you, it was a little easier the first time because we got out to a lead and we knew Stritch would make some adjustments. They did. Their kids played very hard. They're well coached. But our kids hung in. I was very proud of our effort, and we pushed through a tough game and continued to make plays. Offensively, we've been very efficient, and that was true again tonight. And then we made a couple of great stops with our defense, and that was really the game. We're really thrilled.
With the win, the Green Bears heading to Putnam County to take on Columbus Grove. Now pictured here is Northwood. They'll play Van Buren next week after the Black Knights knocked off Paulding. Moving on to the Division IV playoffs, Rossford hosting Triway. Bulldogs down 7-0 in the first. Alex Williams fires a pass over the middle, and Jamari Kroom hauls it in for 6. Bulldogs tie the game up at 7. Kroom and Williams just getting started. Next drive for Rossford, they trail 14-7. Williams rolls to his right, just chucks this one deep, and Kroom is there. Walks in for his second touchdown of the night, and we're all knotted up at 14 apiece. And that Williams to Kroom connection, it was going and going strong. Comes through again. Very next possession for Rossford. Williams again going deep for Kroom, and again the junior is there. His third touchdown just in the first quarter. Rossford takes the 21-14 lead. Triway, though, would rally up 31-24 in the third, but the Bulldogs and Kroom come back. This on fourth down, his fourth touchdown catch gives Rossford the lead and the win, 44-34. Kroom with 260 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns as the Bulldogs advance.
Yeah, after I had the 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, I knew it was going to be a good night for me. Even with the 5 touchdowns, I tied the school record. I wish I could have beat it, but I didn't. But I'm going to be grateful for what I had.
That was a great performance. He made a lot of good plays for me. I had a couple of bad balls that he scored on, so he played great.
Bulldogs will head to Shelby next week to face the Whippets, also in Region 14. Napoleon, they had the bye. They'll host Oberlin Firelands after they defeat Upper Sandusky. Coming up on Sports Nightly, we're just getting started here with our football highlights, including Northview looking for their first ever playoff win. We'll show you if they could get it done next on Sports Nightly.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Nobody treats you better.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. St. Francis taking on Northridgeville. Second quarter, Caden Masterson fires right, picked off by Joe Petro, who goes untouched into the end zone. Knights up 10-0 in the second. Now, it would stay that way going into the third. Here, handed off to Stephen McCoy. McCoy near side, avoids one tackle inside the 10, dives for the pylon. They rule him just short, but he makes up for it on the very next play, takes it in for the touchdown. St. Francis opening up a 16-0 lead. Now on 4th and 2, David Kaiser gives it to McCoy. McCoy dives for the end zone, and he's in. Another touchdown. Knights extend their lead 23-0. Now we move to the fourth. This time it's Jadian Harris in for the touchdown. Knights up 30-0. At that point, they send in the subs. Here's your backup quarterback, Denham Truss, in, and he takes it in for 6. St. Francis wins 38-0 over Northridgeville. Meanwhile, Springfield's taking on the Northview Wildcats in Sylvania. We head to the second quarter. Springfield up 3-0. Sophomore Casson Knapp with the quick toss over to Taylon Miller. He does not get touched, putting on the wheels for 80 yards, takes it home for 6. Northview, of course, looking to answer. Here's Logan Thor taking matters into his own hands. Quick feet up the middle for the touchdown as Northview gets back in it. Now here's a long pass intended for Brandon Langston, but a nice interception there from Drew Sellers, and Sellers is running down the sideline, finds a seam, breaks a couple tackles, and he's in for the touchdown. And now check out this play in the third. Thor looking to Nick Schaefer down low. This looks like it's intercepted, but hold on. Schaefer comes up with it and gets the reception down at the 1. In the fourth quarter now, Thor looking deep pass to Schaefer again. Nice grab and reaches across the goal line for the touchdown. Wildcats win 29-10. They will take on Central Catholic on Friday. So here is that bracket in Division II, Region 6. As we just mentioned, it'll be Central Catholic and Northview at Central Catholic on Friday nights. And then, of course, because St. Francis handled Northridgeville, now the Knights will travel to White House to take on Anthony Wayne. That game also Friday night at 7 p.m. in what is sure to be a fantastic matchup. Now in Division I, Perrysburg, the home team, undefeated, taking on Kettering Fairmont. Yellow Jackets for the second week in a row without their starting quarterback. So TJ Talkitz is in. First play from scrimmage, that's not how you want to start. Fumbles the ball, Firebirds pick it up, and 9 seconds into the game, Perrysburg is already in the hole, down 7-0. Next drive, Jackets offense gets back on track. Who else would they go to? Connor Wallensack The super sophomore carries it in from 10 yards out to tie the game up at 7. The Wildcats, though, going deep into their playbook, pitch to Keon Wright. It's a halfback option. No one covered that guy. Anas Musemi wide open down the sideline, 56 yards. Firebirds build a 28-7 lead. In the third now, Jackets at the Fairmont 22. It's a screen pass to Wallensack. Wallensack gets a block, tiptoes down the sideline, makes a man miss, and dives into the end zone for the touchdown. Perrysburg, though, was still down 28-14, and that was as close as they would get. Firebirds add 2 more touchdowns, winning 41-14. The Jackets stunned in the first round of the playoffs. Well, we're just getting started here on Sports Nightly. Up next, we move on to the City League. The defending league champs Woodward taking on Bowser. That's coming up next on Sports Nightly.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Doing it different, doing it right.
City League football matchup of undefeated schools on the north side. I guess by undefeated we mean 1-0, but okay. Defending league champs Woodward hosting Bowser. First quarter Bowser ball. Demarius Johnson tips it. Emilio Tristan picks it off. No one is going to bring down the senior. He takes it 52 yards for the house. For the score, I should say. Polar Bears up 6-0. Third quarter, Woodward ball, tip drill here. And Markesh Johnson comes down with it, returns it near midfield. Bowser, though, unable to capitalize. Later in the third, Woodward ball at the 28-yard line. Here's Chismar on the read option. Lots of room for the big quarterback. He takes it in for the first offensive score of the night. 12-0, home team out in front. Now in the fourth, Woodward putting it away. Chismar from 3 yards out. The defense would add another touchdown. Woodward wins 24-0. Polar Bears 2-0 on the young season. Danny Rogers caught up with Woodward head coach Rasan Wilson after the win.
Coach, twice quarterback Dominic Chismar finds the end zone. How is he able to be so successful on his feet tonight?
He honestly stepped up as the player that we know he is. We always know it. Sometimes we start a little slow with him, but as we adjusted in the second half, he did well.
Forced fumbles, a pick six, and a shutout for your defense. What made the difference defensive-wise tonight?
Well, honestly, I told them we was going to come out and be bullies, man. We watched film, and I seen the weaknesses, and I knew for sure that we could come out and be the bully.
Mason Lowry and John Gibson had the call of this matchup. We go to them with more.
We know it's been a weird old football season already for the City League schools. They don't have their week 1 until everybody else is on week 6. You can imagine that all of these teams' offenses aren't quite where they'd like to be just yet, but as far as the Woodward Polar Bears are concerned, their defense is already in midseason form.
Their defense is lights out. I mean, they're literally stonewalling teams. They left no stone unturned in shutting down this Bowser offense, which, you know, it's tough for Bowser because they are running a very intricate offense that relies on timing and precision, and you just haven't had the time to get that timing down for the season.
The Woodward defense now through 2 games, they have 3 defensive touchdowns, which, well, no matter where you are and who you are, that's a really impressive number. I think the Polar Bears came into this season with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, having not been picked to repeat as city champions. Start was picked above them in the preseason poll, but the Polar Bears now 2-0 to start City League play. They're in the driver's seat right now for another championship.
They control their own destiny, and actually they pretty much have what amounts to a 2-game lead over Start. And so basically, they really are, if they want to win a city championship and it matters, and they want to be Batman and not be Robin, even though I think, you know, most people will be okay with being Nightwing.
Sure.
But if they really want to be Batman, then they're going to have to go ahead and clean out the slate, and go home champions.
Impressive performance tonight from the Woodward Polar Bears. They shut out Bowser. Woodward now 2-0 on the season. Back to you.
Thank you, guys. Rogers at Scott. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. Still scoreless after the first. Bulldogs on the 6-yard line. Laquan Pack backpedaling backwards. That's going the other way. Touchdown for Rogers as they take the 6-0 lead. Now Rogers extends their lead here, 12-0 in the third. They give it to Dominic Graham. He's into the end zone. It's 18-0. Later on in the fourth, once again, Dominic Graham, the big fella, taking it in on the right side. Rogers extending their lead. They're up 24-0 over Scott, and they just kept piling this one on. There's the finish. The final score, I should say, Rogers 50-0. Let's head north.
It feels great, man, especially after last week. We had to turn up this week. It's a game changer for us. We got to keep doing this every week. It was teamwork. Just the line pushing, everybody 11 hats to the ball on defense, everything. The whole team.
It was good. We needed it, especially after last week. We had a lot of mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes. Still had a lot of mistakes today, but we're coming. It was good. It was good to get, and it was good for our morale, and hopefully we can keep building off this.
Now let's head north of the state line. Pittsford taking on Whiteford in the fourth week of Michigan football. Early first, Cole Gieske goes left side. He's into the end zone. Whiteford on the board first. They lead it 6-0. And hey, the Bobcats, they were in the end zone early and often Friday night. Next Whiteford possession, Devin Shaw right up the gut for his second score of the day. Whiteford leads 12-0. Bobcats looking to widen the gap. They're at the 15. Hand it off to Shaw again, just like the previous play, right up the middle, and he's in for 6. Whiteford leads it 18-0. The Bobcats would actually recover the ensuing kickoff, bringing Shea Ruddy and the offense back on the field. This time they throw the ball, but of course it ends up the same with a touchdown. That's Jack Andrews scoring the touchdown. Whiteford rolls big, 62-18 over Pittsford. Meanwhile, Bedford in Saline taking on the Hornets. Saline using absolute speed Friday night. Larry Robinson in at quarterback. Quick pass to Nicholas Walper. Walper off to the races. He's in for the touchdown as Saline extends their lead. To the second quarter, Bedford driving. Brady Henderson with the sneaky handoff to Logan Hullabarger. He stays on his feet to get the kicking mules on the board, but they trail big. Looking to answer, Robinson gets the ball to Joshua Rush. Rush uses his last name and rushes in for a touchdown. He goes untouched. There's a lot more action here. None of it very good, though, for Bedford as Saline gets the win 56-14. Coming up next on Sports Nightly, it is our Player of the Week nominees. We chose 4. Now you choose the one. That's next on Sports Nightly. Let's take a look at this week's nominees for the Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Player of the Week. We'll begin with Mike Robinson's selection. Northview defensive back Drew Sellers. The senior hauled in a pair of interceptions, including this second quarter pick that he returned 50 yards for a touchdown to give Northview the lead, a lead they would not relinquish, winning 29-10 over their NLL rivals for their first ever playoff win in school history. Congrats to Northview. The Wildcats will play Central next Friday in the second round. Now your second option comes courtesy of Mike Jewell and the Pigskin Professor. I like that nickname for him. He always keeps his eye on the line play, and Friday night he came away impressed by St. Francis senior nose guard Charlie Moorhead in the night's win over North Ridgeville. Not only did the defense not allow any points, they held the Rangers to -2 yards rushing. Very impressive performance. Moorhead spearheading that attack, clogging the middle, making tackles, getting pressure on the quarterback. With the win, the Knights advance to give us another NLL track matchup. Next week, they'll travel to Anthony Wayne. So the first 2 picks were from the defensive side of the ball. Claire Dow going with the offense, and she's going with Whiteford's Cole Gieske. The junior running back had 4 touchdowns in the Bobcats' blowout victory over Pittsford in Tri-County play. Whiteford is now 2-2 after the victory. Bobcats back at home next weekend for Britton Deerfield. And finally, the fans nominee comes from the City League and Woodward quarterback Dominic Chismar. A pair of rushing touchdowns in the Polar Bears' 24-0 win over Bowser last night. The defending league champs, the only unbeaten team through 2 weeks of City League play. After a defensive first half, Chismar and the Polar Bears offense waking up from hibernation in the second half for the easy win. Woodward to play Waite on Thursday. Now, voting is open for the Player of the Week until tomorrow at noon. Head to BCSN's Twitter page and make your voice heard. Sports Nightly is brought to you by Team Sports, your preferred supplier of athletic, team, and business identity needs. We'll be right back. Closing things out here on Sports Nightly, let's take a look at your fantasy football leaders for Week 5. Coming in right at the top is my guy, Notre Dame alum Chase Claypool. He went off for the Steelers tonight in their win over the Eagles. 7 receptions, 110 yards. That graphic is actually wrong. He had 4 touchdowns today for the Steelers, gave you 42.6 fantasy points. Other guys who had a big night include Patrick Mahomes, of course he did. Why wouldn't he? 22 of 43, 340 yards and 3 total touchdowns. Chiefs actually lost today for their first loss of the season. Ryan Fitzpatrick, hey, Fitzmagic coming up big, 350 yards and 3 scores. Kyler Murray having another big day, 380 yards and 2 touchdowns. And how about DeAndre Hopkins? Kyler Murray's favorite receiving option here, 6 receptions, 131 yards and a touchdown. Todd Gurley had a nice day as well with 121 yards and a touchdown. I didn't have any of these guys on my fantasy team. I'm going to lose again. That's okay though. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Wilcox. Good night.